Right, right. Peace, peace to the family, peace to the lineage. Okay. So I said, now I carved out some time, you know, to go live just to see where we at, right? Because I go live in the morning, the family be with me, we be deep in there in the chat, we be deep in the live attendance. And I said, let me go live. Let me try to force an 8 p.m. live to see if the lineage, is available to attend FBA news and updates in the evening. If not, then we just keep it where we at, dig in the morning. I understand that 7 to 8 p.m. is the prime time hours. It's a lot of competition, a lot of great channels live at the same time. And folks, they already got their daily, broadcast, their daily YouTube uh, podcast to check out. So just a test run. Let me see how this microphone is sounding. Hold on. Live at the same time. Oh yeah, we good. Yeah, so let's see what type of turnout we have at 8 p.m. If it's a good one, if it's like near normal, then I will try to carve out 8 p.m. often as possible. You know, if not, I'll let you guys stick to your daily YouTube channel, content at 8 p.m. I won't disturb it. Okay. So, let me just do this real fast because I need this to move. Okay. Okay, while I talk. So you have this notion from people. I hear it from uh really some Foundation Black Americans who think that Pan-Africanists will say this that I'm about to say. You have some tethers that say the same thing. You have other immigrants, and you got white supremacists who say this. Okay, so they all like to pretend that FBAs don't have a homeland. We're just perpetually lost. Okay, we need to be found by some African holy missionaries. Okay, but Foundation Black Americans, we have a homeland. Obviously, saying we don't have a homeland is not only false, but it is deeply ahistorical. Okay, especially when it comes from fellow uh so-called family from the African diaspora. That's when it's more hurtful because we expect non, you dig, to go ahead and say something like that. But those who look like us supposed to have somewhat of a similar experience. When they say the same thing, it's like, okay, the disrespect is on one. You dig? Is to me is worse. All right. So let's let's go into that. So some of us, some we are called foundational Black Americans. We are called ADOS. We are called freedmen for the most part. Okay, that's what we're called. All right, and I say that's what we're called in the attempt to self-identify. We're called other things, but those are not terms to self-identify ourselves with something exclusive. So an exclusive term is freedmen, foundation Black Americans, and ADOS. We're not immigrants. Okay, so that's first and foremost. So to say we don't have a homeland, you're kind of saying we're immigrants. All right. But our ancestors were here before the US was even a country. We're going to tackle that. We're going to tackle that. We were brought here against our will and forced to build this nation from its very foundations. Okay. Yes, Africans sold us. They sold us out and they sold us. Okay. Europeans bought us and sold us. Sailed us. Sailed. They sailed us across the oceans to the diaspora. Okay. That's what happened. While here, we labored cotton, tobacco, rice, and sugarcane plantations. We constructed America's railroads. We fought in American wars, the Revolutionary War. We fought in the Civil War. We fought in Vietnam, World War One, Two. You dig? We created America's core culture. So to delude yourself with hatred and say that this ain't our homeland, you're just a liar. This land is our homeland, mainly because it was built on our backs. All right. That's why. Okay. But yeah, so whatever. The hate's gonna be hate, right? All right, so let's move on. Now, unlike immigrant groups who arrived by choice, and often benefited from infrastructures that already existed via foundational Black Americans. All right. So we created economies, e.g., rice cultivation, cotton as America's number one export by 1860. Cotton was America's number one export by 1860. Number one. The inventions and innovations, e.g., the traffic lights, blood banks, refrigerated trucks, just to name a few. We formed towns and governments, liars, Black Wall Street and Tulsa, Reconstruction era, and legislators. Okay. We shaped American culture from jazz to blues, hip hop, gospel, sports, fashion, food, language, and slang. Y'all call it AAVE, whatever y'all call that. Okay. So, no tethers, no Pan Africanists, no white supremacists. We're not and other immigrants, other hateful immigrants. Well, tethers. We're not living in someone else's country. We are part of the foundational brickwork. This is our homeland. Okay, you need some straightening. Now, you got, I hear this mainly from Africans. Okay, Africans say we're lost. Okay, we were stolen and we endured all this bullshit. Okay, no, we know exactly where we're from. Okay, the plantations of Georgia, the levees of Louisiana, the streets of Harlem, the farms of Mississippi, the shipyards of Virginia. Okay. So no, we were not stolen. We are where we're supposed to be. But those who say we're stateless confuse forced displacement with rootlessness. Our identity was forged through survival, and that survival turned into a cultural legacy. Okay. We didn't migrate here. We were born from it. Many immigrants, including Black immigrants from Africa or the Caribbean, proudly claim their birthright to their native countries, as they should. But by that same logic, we too claim ours. So it is so confusing for a Jamaican or somebody from like the diaspora who's been dropped off in those islands to claim those islands, but say we can't claim America. Like they are the most crazy. They are the most hateful with that claim. Okay. So no immigrant has deeper generational claim to America's soil than the descendants of the enslaved, the DOS. Foundation Black Americans' existence in this country predates, we predate, Umar, one more time, Umar, we predate most major waves of European immigration, all Latin American and African immigration, all Latin American and African immigration, and even the U.S. Constitution itself. We were here before the U.S. Constitution. Yes, the Declaration of Independence. We were here before the United States was the United States. Okay, it was a colony of Britain. All right. So no, we're not guests in America. We're co-owners of the deed. No, I don't need to return home. I'm standing on it, and you're on my porch. You're in my backyard. Get out. America is my homeland. My ancestors paid the down payment in chains. My roots are deeper in this soil than most people's flags. Get your flag out my soil, put it back in your homeland, and leave it there. We didn't migrate to the empire. We survived the empire being built on top of us. Okay. So 1619, the year where, our ancestors were forced brought to English colonies before the U.S. existed. Homestead Acts and land denial. These are like legal anchors. Like these are historical and legal anchors. Homestead Acts and land denial. foundational Black Americans were systematically locked out of land ownership. Freedmen's Bureau, which Texas don't know about, that's proof that the U.S. acknowledged foundational Black Americans as a distinct native-born group due compensation. Freedom's Bureau and the Freedom Banks. Reconstruction and Civil Rights Movement demonstrate a constant native effort to claim full inclusion, not foreignness. You can keep the term Africa. It's all yours. We're American. So that's just how I look at it. Let me look at the polls, though. Let's see how you look at it. Let's look at these polls. Look at these polls. So 97%, 98% say that our homeland is America, and a small percentage is still holding on to Africa. So I feel like I should open the lines on this one, mainly for those that oppose. Those, I like that. That's a bar. Mainly for those that oppose. If you believe that Black America's homeland is Africa and not America, I want to extend this link to you. Hey, there's no debate. I'm not going to debate you. I just want to hear you out. I might have a question or two, but it's not a back and forth. Or unless you make it, unless you make it. So I'm gonna throw the link in there and the phone number for those who believe. Matter of fact, anybody can call if you believe if you believe America is your homeland. You also can call in and explain why. Yeah, you know what? Let's leave it open for everybody. Damn, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Ah, okay, hold on. Let me get this together. So the sister earlier, what's her name? Victoria Spells or whatever her name is. I'm gonna read the comment she left, and she's supposed to. Well, let's see if she's available to pull up. All right, I'm gonna get her real name in a second. Let me just paste the phone number there. The Watcher, peace. The streets need a body. All right. So let me read her comment. So she said, oh yeah, her name is Victoria Spells. She said, I was on this live earlier today, and I got the impression that unless I was ready to jump in and speak negatively about Africans, my conversation was not welcome. Okay. She said, I hope that this is not the case. I agree with many of the arguments that FBA has made. However, I do not have any animosity towards Africans in general. I don't want to and should not have to choose a side. I don't even know how she got that impression. So when we speak of truth, and it's historical truth, somehow that's seen as speaking negatively on Africa. When we delineate and we choose our homeland over Africa, somehow that's being interpreted as you got to pick a side. We can't make people comprehend and grasp this. You just can't. Like they're going to perceive it the way they perceive it, regardless of whom and what. Okay. So let's go into a case in point. Let's go into a case of point. I think I'm done there. Okay, so I think yeah, we're here. Okay. Oh man. All right, cool. Let's get out of there. I made a mistake. All right, let's go to case in point. I hope you cannot hear that cartoon in the back. All right, let me turn that down.
So New York City's debt.
So here's some news and updates before we get into the topic. News and updates. I've been meaning to play. So let me up and play these so I can delete them.
$104 billion. And you pay tax. I pay tax on everything. Admission to New York City, $25. You got the congestion pricing, you got tolls, you got everything. You want to park, $50 an hour, whatever it may be, crazy. Tax on that, tax on everything. Okay? So how can we be $104 billion in debt? Well, because we have incompetent administrations that don't care about the money. So the New York City debt has increased 50% from the year 2010. 50%. Okay? That's almost all under progressive leadership. De Blasio, Adams. You can't do it, guys. You can't keep doing this. You're gouging everybody because you don't pay attention. You don't care about taxing. You don't care about costs at all. You can't tax anything else. There's nothing else left. Okay, so now we hear that a hotel in New York City called The Row, R-O-W.
Let me get to that. So, caller, how would you like to be addressed? What name?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I would like to address as Aspiring Heights.
You might gotta. It might be you. You might gotta speak up a little bit.
Okay. I have my Bluetooth. Do I need to put on my speaker?
Let me
Can you
see.
hear me?
Okay. Wait. Say something else. Say it again. Talk right now.
I have my Bluetooth. Do I need to? Because
No, I can hear you.
I'm on my phone.
No, I
Can you
turned it
hear
up.
me
I
now?
can hear you. Yes. Okay. So now, who am I speaking to?
This is Aspiring Heights.
Okay. Hi.
I'm one of the moderates.
Yeah, I know your name. I know that name. How are you, sis?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I figure I'll try 8 p.m. live, see how it works out, and maybe I'll do more depending upon how this one goes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was calling for the when you had asked which you said it's open to
Right.
if we choose Africa. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I
So
was
yeah,
calling.
so okay, go ahead. And which one do you choose and explain why?
The are we on the chat live?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. I choose America,
Okay.
and
And
I choose
okay,
America
so
because
explain why you choose America and why you don't choose Africa. Yeah.
because I'm from America. All my ancestors, I'm cut from the lineage. Well, I haven't had a genealogy, but I met my American Indian grandparents who lived on reservations, and I met and he was like 100 some years old and told me the history. I met my parents on both sides, my great grandparents, great grandparents, and my mom and dad told me stories. Everybody in my family are all Americans and
Okay.
come from various American Indian tribes. We come from the slave history. We mix with the mixture. And I heard the stories directly from my grandparents and great grandparents. They told me the stories of
Right.
their lives and who I was. They told me about my bloodline. My daddy did trace his bloodline all the way. He traced his bloodline all the way back to Abraham Lincoln's wife.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
he found out we was related to Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd. So he
Wow.
traced it. Yeah, he did it way before they did all their DNA. He did the paper,
Oh,
the
right. Yeah,
actual.
he got the real receipts. Yeah.
He traced it all the way back. Yeah. So I mean, and so in America, yeah, we know they did us wrong, but guess what? We still were able to make a way in those harsh environments that our ancestors were in, and we're still making a way. And all the time, all those hundreds of years we was struggling and making it, getting hunted down, and going through all the different things they put us through. Africa, what was Africa?
Right.
And by the way, I nothing against Africa. I don't have to have anything against Africa because I'm not African. And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why we have something against them. I love myself so much. What do I need to be against them for? When America
Mm.
is what created me. America made me who I am. Africa didn't. And so I I don't know why they want us to. Why do I need to claim something and not doing nothing for them?
You know what?
Okay,
I just thought
we're
about it
not.
as you talked. I thought about something as you
Mm-hmm,
talked. I said they might feel that way. Like, oh, you got something against Africa? It's almost like a guilty conscience because they know, they know they sold us. It's like America, like even white America, like they think
mm-hmm,
some of them think if we get right, we're gonna attack them back. Like so, both of them have a guilty conscience. White America think we're gonna pay them back for slavery and Jim Crow, and Africa think we're gonna pay them back for how they rounded us up and sold us. So both of them have a guilty conscience. When we level up, like they are so like afraid and they feel like we're attacking them when we stand up erect and strong and we become serious. So that might have something to do with
mm-hmm.
it, just like guilty conscience of like paybacks.
And I mean, and that's for me. I had came from a very spiritual. I'm pretty sure a lot of our people, our foundation is actually spiritual. That's why our culture comes from the church, and our spirituality is what brought about all of our culture right now today. And so I feel I was raised up in the church and in the Bible, studying the Bible, going to church, and so
What state?
I
Was what
had
what state?
witnessed, and I'm from Texas.
Okay, I got you. Okay, okay, you could. I want to know what state. Okay.
Yeah, so but my we take most of us take our spirituality with us everywhere we go. Yeah, I don't care if we get out of it. I done met people that far sway so far away from their spirituality and they still will quote scriptures from the Bible. That's why they think we're peculiar people. Because I'm like, and so what they don't understand is we don't have nothing against neither one of them, but we're getting attacked every day, all day long from the whole world. Everybody's
Yeah,
attacking us.
yeah,
It's attack is coming from if it ain't it's from everywhere, and then they want us to sit here and don't say nothing.
right. Just take it.
And yeah, and then when we say something back, oh you hate Africans, oh you hate white people, oh
Mhm.
you hate Chinese. But when they're saying something to us, nobody say they hate us. It's just, oh, they're just getting on.
Yeah,
They
I
basically treat FBA, they treat us like we're children.
yeah, I was watching Nick Fuentes on those Twin Coons podcast, and and I know that everybody felt weird because Nick Fuentes was trying to make an argument. Matter of fact, you called in, so you ain't better hear it. But once you hang up, I'm gonna play the Nick Fuentes um statement. So he was trying
Yeah,
to diss,
I look at it like that.
yeah, but it was one in particular. He was trying to diss FBAs, and his argument it shot white people in the foot. It didn't hit the way he thought it was going to hit. So he was making an argument why
Mm-hmm.
we should be disliked, why nobody likes us. But his example he used, like he was using characteristics of that's like nasty and disgusting. But all of those
Mm-hmm.
characteristics, he literally described white folks during Jim Crow. So it's like, so like they was kind of like quiet. It's like, wow. Like I think he realized that as you're saying it, and those twin coons, like
Mm-hmm.
that's how he was receiving. Like, wow, like the reason why you just said black folks are not liked in 2025 are the same behaviors that white folks had in practice during for 100 years. You take for 100 years with no unprovoked. There's a reason why we behave a certain way. We have, like you said, we've been done wrong. We've been deprived, locked out, enclosed in, filth, purposely. So they created a condition for us to behave a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
to create a certain person. But what was their condition that was created for them to behave the way they behave? Nuts. We have a legitimate excuse why we turn on each other, and but they have no excuse. They were not crack wasn't thrown in their societies. They were not marginalized. They weren't stuck in uh like a low poverty society where it was hard to like be successful. Like they had the freedom to roam where they can go. Like they weren't stuck at the worst schools in the nation and deny home ownership. So it was kind of weird to hear his argument. I'm gonna play a little later because it was like just the worst example a white supremacist could make as to why black folks deserve to be like looked down upon. It was really, really interesting.
And then what this is, our situation is about people not educating themselves on our history, people not using critical thinking. But, you know, it's so many psychiatrists out there. The psychiatrists know the truth. Some of them do. What the ones that do know the truth don't like to always act like they know some of them. But I'm just saying, there's too much knowledge out there. People are putting knowledge out there on all social media accounts, and it's like, but still, they can never beat us. So it's like their world is different from our world. They can't see the world from our lens, and then when we try to explain it to them, they don't want to hear it. Because I'm seeing a lot of videos of our people making videos saying when they try to explain, when they like on the trying to just different social media accounts where they're on the phone on the live with the African, and they're trying to explain both of them trying to explain their view, their point of view. It's like some of them will get on and tell their point of view and get off, and they really, a lot of times they don't even want to hear our side of the story.
Right.
And so it's hard to even get it. It's hard to even sit down with them to explain our point of view. That's why I'm trying to figure out how, even though I know that everybody claiming black and African American for the resources to get the grants and scholarships and double dip and getting the resources. That's the only reason why they're claiming that African American or black. Other than that, they'll be claiming that self. But and then they think we're dumb. They keep saying we're the same. I even recently had an experience. I went to this office for job training, and
Yeah.
and the guy, the caseworker, he's going through the case. He's taking me back. I'm trying to get things my career, go back to school for AI training, and so
Yeah.
and so the person, he's just walking me through the steps. And I don't know, something happened where it's like, oh, because we're all the same. And when he said that,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
like,
wait, wait, wait. Stop right there. So I do gotta say, I know the chat like unbiased say something. Yeah, your Bluetooth is definitely no, no. It's janky. Like I can make out what you're saying, but I gotta really like concentrate
oh, it messed
because
up
it
they can't, you can't.
okay. She might have hung up by mistake. But yeah, but callback says, but yeah, your Bluetooth is janky. I know the chat, like, all right, unbiased. Let her know something. Because we can hear her, but it's like really hard to hear you. I got my volume on 100. When I started the show, my volume was on 50. When you called in, I put it on 100 just to hear you. Yeah. So let me know, chat, was it just me or was her audio janky? And shout out to Lorraine Morrow for in the super chat sending in $10 lineage love. We appreciate that. I appreciate that. Respect to you. Yeah, so call back in Aspiring Heights. Yeah, with your yeah, Donnie said yeah, it was low. And I wasn't saying anything. I know like yeah, like all right, unbiased. All right. Yeah. Let her know something. Yeah. Yeah, so the audio was very low. All right, so we'll wait for you to call back in. And I'm gonna play that Nick Fuentes thing. It was like interesting. The reasons that he gave why black people should be hated was the same behavior of basically all white folks in America during Jim Crow. That was like interesting. And it's like a weird moment for them. They like, wow, did we just shoot ourselves in the foot like that?
Okay. was used to house.
Yeah, peace. A man called David. Yeah, it was low. Next time, family, let me know because I'm trying to fight through it. But I know you guys are like, all right, bro, stop. Okay, so this is so listen to the hotels. That's the money spent on hotels for illegals. Check this out. Oh, shit, come on, man.
House migrants. Oh, here. Anything else? There's nothing else left. Okay, so now we hear that a hotel in New York City called The Row, ROW,
Uh-oh.
okay,
Throwing out
was
names.
used to house migrants who came to New York City illegally.
Hmm.
Okay, and then they were bussed here by the Biden administration.
See, he's talking about bus, meaning like they arrived on buses. These are illegals. Like they can find free housing for illegals, but they can find no housing for the homeless crisis in America. Zero. And they'll push you through hula hoops, fiery hula hoops to even house a citizen, a homeless citizen or somebody facing homelessness. They'll put you through fiery hula hoops. But illegals who are not supposed to be in the country, they could find all type of resources and houses for them with no strict stipulations, no strict eligibilities. They just, you're illegal, we got you, and you'll get a CDL and a license. You could drive a truck. Oh, you don't speak English? No problem. We'll put you in a tractor trailer. You could drive and make your way.
And New York City paid the Row Hotel $170 million
170 million.
to shelter these illegal migrants.
$170 million to shelter illegal migrants. All right, 1 second. Aspiring heights.
Okay.
Yeah, say something now. Let me hear you.
Kate, I'm on. My Bluetooth ran out. My Bluetooth went dead. I don't know if you can hear me on this phone or not. I'm on the speaker. Can you hear me?
It's janky.
It's still kind of messed up.
It's just low.
I need to get
like we hear you
I
better,
need to
but
get-
it's just low.
Yeah, because I have it turned up high. I need to get a new phone. Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, do you want me to stay on? Because I don't know if they can hear us or not.
Well, yeah, because I asked
My
him too. I asked
Do
him
it sound
too.
like it's going in and out?
No, the last call did. This one just we hear you just low. That's all. You know how you
Oh,
speak to somebody and it just
oh, I
low?
need to speak up. Okay, I'm
No, just
sorry.
your phone is just low.
It's time for me to get a
Okay,
new
but
phone.
somebody said a man called David. He said it's better. So, I guess,
Okay.
and they could work with it, is
I'm
what they're
sorry,
saying. Yeah.
y'all. I'm working on getting a phone upgrade.
Yeah, yeah. But you are so somebody else wanted the phone numbers. I wanted to ask you this question. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
growing up, and then just honesty, right? FBAs, we ain't gotta lie, right? Because I called a
Mm-hmm.
friend on three-way, one live show. I called a friend on three-way. I said, hey man, did you ever call somebody an African booty scratcher? He said yes. So, we have honesty over here. We're not trying to hide anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so my question is this. When you were growing up, did you ever refer to yourself as, I'm gonna give you three: Afro-American, African American, and Black American? All three. Did you ever refer to yourself to three of those at
Yeah.
any time?
All three of them in the time. Yeah, in a different. Each of them came in a different time period. So each
Okay.
time period, yes, I do. I did refer to myself as all three of them. I don't do it now. I refer to myself as FBA, Black American, or even American, And so yeah, I have it in the past referred to myself as all three of those.
Okay. And yeah, that's all. So
And
T Wolves said B1. So I gave T Will lineage wrench. Yes, family, the likes is like embarrassing. So can we just get the likes up? Look at it, sis. Aspiring Heights, go ahead.
oh, let me see your mind. Oh, and then about the African booty scratcher stuff.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah. Let me
actually,
hear your knowledge on that. Get the likes of family likes is terrible.
We used to tell you the truth, that's what's weird to me that they keep talking about them. We were calling each other that.
I keep
We
hearing that. I
messed
keep
with each
hearing that.
other. That's something that it came really late. I don't even remember because I was born in 1972, so I don't remember that coming until like the 80s or something. It came like it was close. I know it was maybe 78 or 80. That's when but then it didn't even stick around long. So, but we was calling each other that. We didn't even know. We didn't even understand, or we actually had felt sorry for Africans because when they had them on TV, they were starving, and so we actually would protect them. If someone talked about Africa when I was young, somebody would get on your case. Hey, don't be talking about those people. Those people are smart, and they was very protected. If there was if you was like one or two in our class, and
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody picking on them because I grew up in the ghetto. Okay.
Right.
And
Like most of us.
later on, when I got older, my mom moved us out to the suburbs. Where I grew up from 0 to like 13. I grew up running the streets with my friends. I was a regular Black American teenager. I lived a regular, and so we ran the streets, did whatever. And I don't remember us picking on Africans when I was growing up. And like I said, I came in 1972, so I didn't see it all. And so I do not. I remember us calling each other that, but I don't remember anybody calling the African.
Yeah, that's why. Look, I don't even remember. I went to basically all black school. You did. Where's Chad Smith in the? I need Chad Smith in the building because I want to ask him because we went to the same middle school, and I want to get his truth because I don't recall anybody saying
We
it
didn't
at all. Like that
tell
was
you the
not
truth.
something I didn't hear that until I was like older when I heard people say they would call that. Like I don't recall anybody using that word in school.
You know what? It didn't even stay around long. It came. It's just as quick as it came. It went. It came for like a trend. It may have. I don't even remember it being. I remember us. When I was a teenager, I remember us calling each other that. That's the name we called each other, and so it didn't stick around long. It only stayed around for maybe a couple of years, and it left. And I
Yeah,
never heard it again.
that's interesting because it wasn't like I only remember seeing one African. We had a handful of Jamaicans, but I only recall one African in the middle school that I went to, and maybe he got called it. I don't know, but we got. And hold on, let me change his name. Hold on. So
Okay.
we got life was better in the 1990s. Let me just change your name away from your phone number. So hold on one second. Shit. All right, go ahead. Life was better in the 1990s. Peace.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say the name of the show is FBA Homeland, a Move to Africa. That's what you're talking about tonight?
No, the show is our FBA's homeland. Do you consider your homeland American? Like, first of all, you gotta be a Black American, right? Somebody who has lineage to
Yes.
slavery. So if that's you, do you consider your homeland America or Africa? And both answers explain your answer to
Okay.
either
First
one.
of all, I'm a foundation of Black Americans. My people been here since slavery. But which do I consider home? I'm gonna say this. I consider America home because I've never been to Africa. I never stepped foot over there. But at the
Right.
same time, it's a dude on YouTube. He has a channel called the African American Maryland Movement. He's trying to make a homeland for Black people in the state of Maryland because Trump is opening up not Trump, but the Democrats open up these borders. Like they ran me up out of California. I was living in Los Angeles. There's no more Black people in LA. So what we
Yeah.
need to do, we need to get Black people to move to Maryland where our numbers are the strongest. Maryland can be the first state Um, if we do that, even though they may let all these immigrants into this country, at least we can say, well, you know what? At least we got Maryland. They're not gonna take Maryland and in the District of Columbia. We got these two areas. They might take the West Coast. They might get Chicago, but they're not gonna get these certain cities on the East Coast. But look him up on YouTube and Facebook, the African American Maryland movement. He's trying to get black people to set up a homeland in Maryland where our numbers are the strongest.
Yeah, so Tariq was speaking to a white supremacist, and they were complaining about like whiteness diluting and all that type of stuff. You know what they talk about. So Tariq Nasheed was like, "Why don't you go?" I forgot where he was, where he was visiting. So, Iowa. So he was like, "Well, Iowa over here is lily white," and he was like, "Yeah, I know." He said, "That's funny because you're complaining about, all these different ethnicities that you're living around that can possibly dilute, whiteness, right? Because that's what they into, the white supremacists." Then he was like, "Yo, man, if that's the real issue, then why don't you move to Iowa because it's lily white and you have no problems here? Everybody's white." And the white man was like, "No." He's like, "No." He said, "Because
Well,
if
can
we
I?
go to, wait, let me just finish for the chat.
Okay,
I wasn't even done. Yeah. So the white man, I'm just giving you his response. The white man said,
okay.
he said, yeah, it might be lily white, but he said, the reason why we won't do that because then we have no influence on politics, like voting nationally, because you'll just be confined to one state. So he was like, that's why they stay where they are, even though they're mad at the diversity in ethnic groups that can possibly water down their own race. They felt like concentrating in one area, they lose power over the country.
Okay. Can I speak to that now?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying that black people can't live on the West Coast, the East, or the Midwest, or down South. I'm just saying we need to have a majority state, and that can be
Yeah.
Maryland. You can live where you
Okay.
want, but let Maryland be the homeland. But I want to speak to the white nationalists saying they're losing land or they're losing the country. This is what, to me, if you're a white nationalist, this is what you should do. Right now, you can go to Ukraine. Ukraine, 90% white. And after this war is over with in Ukraine, you can invest money in it and you can make that your homeland. Move to you. You should tell the white nationalists, you know what? Ukraine, 90% white. You can grow there. When the war over with, invest your money there. You can start. That's how you can make your white homeland in Ukraine, but not America.
Right. Yeah, I think yeah, so white people for sure are not leaving, like, because especially the white supremacists, the white nationalists, like they believe this is their country solely and they want it back. You did. I was just watching you know what? I should play that. You know what? I'm gonna play
Okay.
a white nationalist. He was talking to the Saint, and I didn't watch it. So this is what I do. Sometimes when I have an interesting video, I will save it to my playlist. Like I do a lot of Pinkies. Pinky always email me stuff. I save it to my playlist, and other videos that I'm going to watch immediately, I'll just click it because it'll go to my history. That's like a way to have a track record. So you know what I mean? If my computer died, whatever, I go there. So I never watched it, but I want to play it right now while
You know
everybody's
what?
here.
You can continue the show, but I'm gonna jump off the call. But thank you for letting me
Okay.
on, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
All
you
right,
calling in
appreciate
and giving your answer to the question.
it. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Peace.
My
Okay, so I want to find the white supremacists that said that. Okay. I'm back and forth between YouTube channels. Like my unbiased Ron channel is the one that's premium. The FBA News Updates ain't premium. So I watch the unbiased Ron a lot because I avoid the commercials. See, so even when I play videos now on my live, it's unbiased Ron. So I gotta check FBA News because I know I did put that video and I pressed it and I was going to watch later. So, oh, I got it. So I wanted to hear his logic why he wanted America white, and that was going to kind of piggyback onto what the brother was asking white folks to do to go back to, I mean, well, think about migrating to Ukraine. Okay, so I found the video. Let me play it. I got the phone hooked up to my speaker. I mean my headset, so I definitely can't answer because you're gonna hear the phone conversation. All right, hold on one second. Let me get this out the way.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Hope it's not too long. All right, so it's gonna be delayed on your part, by the way, Aspire Heights, because you called in. Now, if you want, you can click the link and come through Zoom.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you have Zoom or not, but if you
Oh,
come through Zoom,
okay. I can do that. I can come through Zoom.
okay, then you could watch. Now, when I play a video, you'll see it in real time. All right, so
Okay.
I'll put the Zoom link in the chat and click the Zoom link, and you'll be able to watch the video in real time without a delay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, all right,
All
bye.
right.
Okay, let me find a Zoom link. All right, Sonic, peace. Oh, uh, okay, let me. All right, so here is the link right here. All right, and I was interested to hear this white supremacist reason why he wants America lily right here. This is what I was going to watch later. Let's check it out.
Totally against multiculturalism. It's not that
Okay.
I'm against other races. I mean, although the left would call me racist, I think that we should all
Let's talk
have.
about it.
Yeah, I think that the America should have a culture, and that if you want to be American, you adopt that culture.
Yes.
And I also don't understand, like, talking about history. I don't understand why it makes me racist to wonder why white people can't have their own country. And I'm not necessarily talking about the United States and throwing everybody else out. It doesn't have to be the United States. It could be anywhere where you can sustain yourself.
Okay, so there you go. Life was better in the 90s, 1990s. He's considering a place like Ukraine, so you might be onto something. So he said it doesn't have to be United States. So he said he's a self-proclaimed white supremacist and he's entertaining outside of America, possibly Ukraine. So maybe you're onto something.
But it's like ever since Nazi Germany.
Yeah, so Aspire Heights, you were just in the queue. So you got disconnected or you got off. I don't know. But I did see you in the queue. I accepted you on the panel, so you could try again.
Germany, white people are not allowed to have their own country.
This is a good conversation. I think we're gonna have some fun here. And you guys have to forgive me. It's been such a busy day. Anyways, whites do have their own
It
countries.
froze. My fault. It froze.
Actually, frequent one of them, which is very homogenous, which is Poland. And I would like to compliment the Polish people right now. One, I do business there. I don't have any problems.
All right, yeah. Maybe it wasn't okay. Maybe this is for later. That's why I like to skim things before I play them, because now I don't even know when they're gonna get to it. So let me get back to the hotels. Let me get back to something I did skim. So they spent $170 million for for this particular hotel to house illegal immigrants. I mean, family, we got to be smart. Why are you housing busloads, many busloads of illegal immigrants? It's obviously to put them to work. And they're not working in farms picking cotton like Jasmine Crockett, would you believe. They're in factories. They're taking American jobs, period. Let me just say that. They don't speak English. They're not just in factories. They are on construction sites. And now we find out they're driving CDLs. I mean, they're having CDLs driving trucks. Okay. So the trucking industry is definitely American. So they're definitely taking American jobs. So you're housing these illegal immigrants to put them to work, to give them a driver license that they can't earn on their own because they don't read English, and a CDL at all things. So when you hear busloads of immigrants come to the country, they're going to employ them. They're going to house them and employ them. That means less jobs for Americans and 10 times less jobs for foundational Black Americans.
That's our money. You and me. Did anybody care? No, they didn't care. Those undocumented folks should not have been allowed here in the first place.
Right.
But New York is a sanctuary city and has been for, I don't know what Bloomberg, I don't think Bloomberg cared about it, but I got to check it. But certainly de Blasio and Adams, hey, come on in. We'll give you everything because we don't care about it. We have a $104 billion debt, and you're never going to pay it off in a million years. And anybody buying New York State paper, bonds, things like you are out of your blanking mind to do that. And under Trump, the city's not going to get federal money much at all. And Hochul had no idea up in Albany what to do or how to do it. State's in debt as well. Homeowners, when is the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, then this is for you. Scammers are stealing titles, and your equity is a target. Criminals forge your
Officials from Vermont's Department of Motor Vehicles testified Tuesday. They did so after a public records release showed some DMV investigators coordinating to identify undocumented immigrants with Immigration Customs Enforcement officers, or ICE. But the DMV says the only time they work with ICE is when they're investigating crime.
Hi, can you hear me?
Last thing we want to do is if we cancel or suspend the license, is suspend somebody that legitimately has the license.
Jake Aliverta is the DMV's Enforcement and Safety Director.
Obviously, from an identity theft, we want to make sure we have the right people that we're dealing. And so that's when, at times, we're contacting ICE.
Recently, Governor Phil Scott signed a law that requires his approval of certain immigration enforcement. State Representative Christopher Pearson wanted to know why the state-run agency continues to call on the federal agency.
Somebody comes in, applies, and a DMV employee takes it upon themselves to share that information, forward it to the feds. And so walk me through in a detailed way, is that practice still happening?
Aliverta cited a common call they get. A resident keeps getting DMV mail addressed to a name that doesn't live there.
This person doesn't live here. I've lived here 20 years. Nobody's ever lived here. Then we're going to go back to the documentation that was submitted for the basis to get that driver privilege card.
That privilege card is something.
I told you, man. I told you they house these illegal immigrants, and then before you know it, they're on the road driving. This is wild, man.
Committee Chair Senator Jeanette White sponsored back in 2013. It lets non-citizens in Vermont get a driver ID card from the DMV.
We have people.
What the hell is a driver ID card? I hope that's the way you say driver license in New Jersey. I hope that's not another way to get behind a motor vehicle and drive. That'd be crazy.
Coming.
Oh, okay. Do I need it?
To establish.
No, I'm gonna play a series of videos. Yeah, you're gonna watch the video with me, with us,
okay.
The whole family. Yeah, I'm gonna play a series of videos of this DMV thing. So there's DMV is called different things in different states. Georgia doesn't call it DMV. They got their own name that they call it to issue licenses, driver licenses, and things like that. ID cards and where they handle motor vehicle issues, right? License plates, things like that. But DMV is what is called in the East Coast. I know for sure. But there's a scheme, right? It seems like it's a Democrat thing because they are the ones that's behind the busload of illegal immigrants. So there's some scheme what they have where they're making sure these illegal immigrants, that's how they get housing, and then they get driver licenses, undeserved, unearned driver licenses. So you're hearing that now, like this is a whole fraud. And I got a series of videos, different states. This ain't just one state, one bus. This is like national. So check it out.
An identity.
The DMV says it doesn't need new policies, just clearer guidelines for the fair policing policy standards that they are trying to currently put in place. In Montpelier, Renee Wunderlich, NBC5 News.
Okay, so that's one. Here is another one. Okay, So let me see what the likes at. My family representing. You're getting there. Family, if you didn't like the video, go ahead and do that. We're still behind. Likes, like, again, likes help us get in the feeds, get out there. And also it attracts other folks of the lineage to tap in.
We're disclosing today to the people of New York is that unfortunately too many people have gotten driver's licenses because of corruption.
You see? So now we just well, not read, we just learned and heard Vermont scheme to give illegals driver licenses. Now we're in New York. Listen, I want y'all to do a mental record of all of the places, all the states that's involved in giving illegals driver license. Like, this is wild.
Free because
I wonder if Vermont is a Democratic. Well, we can't even say that because Florida was involved and that's Republican.
theft because of thievery. We are announcing arrests today of individuals who are taken into custody. There are multiple New York State, some are New York State motor vehicle examiners who brazenly betrayed their oaths of office by accepting cash in exchange for falsifying the results of countless road examinations.
So who the hell is paying them cash? I would love to know who's the cash cow and catch that person. I want to know if they're Republican, the Republican Party, Democrat Party, who is responsible with paying these DMV workers cash to lose their career, their job, employment, and also lose their freedom, which is sick. But who is paying them, and why is there this big demand to put an illegal immigrant behind the wheel of a car? Like, why is that a big thing? That is wild, man.
Or in many cases allowing individuals to bypass the testing process altogether. The result of a long-term investigation spearheaded by my office and the New York State.
As a matter of fact, let me do this real fast. Now that we're learning about illegals giving driver licenses to drive, let me give you some what happens behind that. Look at this. This just happened yesterday, by the way. Yesterday. Watch this. I'm gonna Google right now. This just happened yesterday. Sammy, look. Now, Elizabeth, New Jersey is a heavily populated Spanish city in Jersey. Okay, it's a lot of cities. Okay, look at this. Hey, put that back over there. Okay, let me just show you this right here. No, go over there. Too loud. Too loud? Yeah, go over there. I'm gonna turn it down. Okay, so elderly gym goer killed as SUV crashes into New Jersey's Planet Fitness. Like, they literally, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is they look at this. How did this car end up in Planet Fitness, killing one, injuring two? So I've been trying to like do follow-ups to see if they released if this person is illegal or not. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, my screen froze. 1 second. Yo, this is amazing. I wonder if this person was an illegal. I'm not sure. But you best believe I've been following up on this. Look at that. Is this a result of an illegal immigrant with a driver's license? And New Jersey is a sanctuary state. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the scam.
Inspector General, with the assistance of the New York City Police Department and those who are here with us and you will hear from today.
Yeah, DMV, Tiger. That's what it's called in Jersey.
Involving not only government employees, but also
NVC, you're right.
that are driving school.
You're right, it's NVC 4 lane.
Took tests on behalf of unqualified applicants and the applicants themselves who paid to illegally obtain driver's licenses. In some cases, even the prerequisite learner's permit was fraudulently obtained.
The family, did y'all hear that? Even the learner's permit was fraudulently obtained. Somebody, anyway. So now look, so we've seen Vermont, we've seen New York, now I'm gonna bring you to Florida.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Weimer, and thanks for joining us on this Friday morning, live on Fox Local and on YouTube. 8 people have been arrested so far in what officials are calling an illegal immigrant driver's licensing scheme.
This is national.
2
family.
of those people arrested were employees with essentially the DMV, with the county tax collector's office in Bay County, where investigators say those employees were offering licenses in exchange for cash. That the folks they were offering them to never had to take the written test, never had to take the driving test. Attorney General James Othmeyer was in Bay County yesterday afternoon with the Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford as they talked about this case and why they say it's so serious.
These weren't minor shortcuts. These were intentional acts of corruption where individuals paid bribes in exchange.
So I just showed you that card that was in Planet Fitness.
Critical safety
This ain't me. This ain't my
evaluations.
audio. This is the video audio.
The investigation also
Not
led
playing.
us to arrest these licenses were essentially
that's
sold.
not me.
The outstanding teamwork and part Hung Du, age 50, cheating that are
But I think we got the gist of it. 8 people arrested. All right. What is the obsession with giving illegal immigrants driver licenses and CDLs?
We talked a lot recently about illegals driving on American roads.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. But now 2 DMV employees in Florida face charges for allegedly selling driver's licenses, including commercial ones.
Ooh.
2 people with
this is
questionable
a whole
legal
different
status. Newsmax crime
DMV in
correspondent
Florida.
Jason Matera has all the details this morning. What can you tell us, Jason?
Good morning, Mark and Charlotte. So yeah, this one is troubling. 2 workers at the Bay County Tax Collector's Office were, according to investigators, handing out Florida licenses by the truckload for the right price.
Truckload.
These weren't minor shortcuts. These were
Okay, so this
intentional
was the
acts
same
of
one.
corruption where individuals paid bribes in exchange for skipping critical safety evaluations.
Authorities say this scheme ran for years. Inside the Bay County Tax Collector's Office,
Look at
2 public employees allegedly turned a government agency into a black market license mill. For a stack of cash, they would allegedly issue a Florida driver's license to unqualified applicants.
That's crazy.
No tests, no verification. So far, 8 people have been
Got
arrested
'em.
in this illicit operation, accused of running not just regular licenses, but commercial ones too.
Wow.
The kind needed to drive big rigs and passenger buses.
Okay, now keep in mind, they said commercials want to drive big rigs, because I got bad news. So I did do a follow-up on the illegal immigrant who got a CDL's license this way in California and crashed and deleted 3 people in Florida on a Florida highway.
Look out for any signs of somebody taking cash on the side to help criminal aliens get driver's licenses. Maybe that can happen in California, but not here in Florida.
And here's the bigger concern. The licenses weren't just handed to locals. Officials say many recipients were coming from all over the state,
Isn't that crazy?
often funneled in with help from an immigration service called Cubamax.
Wow, there you go.
According to Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford, investigators recovered more than $120,000 in cash from the suspects' homes.
$120,000.
The 2 DMV employees now face multiple felonies.
Bye-bye.
And one of the 8 busted in this crime ring is allegedly wanted in Texas for human trafficking.
All right, so let's move on.
Prosecutors say 3 New York State DMV examiners
in New York.
schemed with a driving school to help people get licenses without ever taking the proper tests. And they allegedly pocketed thousands of dollars in cash along the way. Investigative reporter Tim McNicholas walks us through these new criminal charges.
Detectives say the T&E driving school on Roosevelt Avenue in Queens charged people $1,600 to $2,000 each to falsify driving exams.
$2,000.
Investigators say the school's
That's
owner
$20,000.
worked with 3 DMV examiners and a substitute driver who posed as other people to take tests.
Wow.
Prosecutors say the scheme may have allowed hundreds, if not thousands, of people to get licenses.
Hundreds to thousands of illegal immigrants in New York that can't drive worth a goddamn, can't read a road sign for nothing, don't know what yield mean, don't know what stop mean, nothing. And they over here behind the wheel just going crazy in New York. And it's crazy.
Homeless individuals are now driving on our roads without ever having demonstrated the basic skills necessary to do it safely.
The school is in Queens, but prosecutors say the scheme involved several testing locations on Staten Island. Investigators say they cracked the case using undercover cameras and an undercover NYPD officer who paid the school $1,600.
A short time ago, our undercover, who never took the test, was told by the school that he had passed and he was getting a license.
Oh, so this ain't even like a DMV. Like, how is that even legal? We got Nation Within Nation. Said new sub here, FBA St. Louis in Missouri. Peoples from Aberdeen, MS, and Little Rock, Arizona. Peace to you. Let me give you a lineage wrench. Please go ahead and like the video. And let's subscribe. I'm normally live in the morning, but I'm trying something new. I see that we got a nice response 8 o'clock, 7 to 8 o'clock. So maybe I'll try to go live more at 8 o'clock as well, because it's getting colder, it's getting darker, and summertime's over. My son gotta go to school, so we're getting ready for school hours. So I would be in the house earlier. So I said, let's see if the family will be available 8 p.m. as well as the morning.
The DMV now says it's in the process of revoking the driving privileges of any customers of the scheme.
These individuals were often those who did not speak or understand English and may have believed that they were all taking necessary legitimate steps.
So, Tim, this is obviously a scary thought for anyone who drives. What is the DMV saying about all this?
So the DMV says it has already made some changes and will be making more improvements to ensure this does not happen again. And as for the employees involved, they've all either been fired or are on leave without pay, no longer doing road tests. The DMV commissioner also applauded the employees who assisted in the investigation, Jessica.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Man, fuck South Africans. Ain't there nothing that feel picking up cotton for the master?
Okay,
Just like Flintstones. Y'all don't even have a car. Y'all.
I'm gonna come back to that. Let's get.
Man, fuck South Africans.
No. I'm not done with the. We'll get to that. So that's some diaspora war stuff. That's gonna get messy. But I wasn't done with the DMV schemes and scams. Check this out. So remember this guy right here? Viewer discretion advised. You're going to see a horrible accident.
The Trump administration now
So
investigates.
this guy right here decided to make an illegal U-turn going, he decided to make an illegal U-turn going 65 miles per hour. And yes, he is one of those customers that paid for his CDLs and got hired by 2 different trucking companies. A fake CDL, can't speak a lick of English, can't read road signs. And yes, he recorded it. I guess there's a requirement for truck drivers to have a camera. So the accident is recorded. Viewer discretion advised. It's graphic. You're going to see a car crash into his truck, and everybody in the car was deleted. The car was so damaged that if a squirrel was in that car, the squirrel would have been deleted as well. So I'm going to play the video. It's on you. If you don't like to see stuff like this, please turn away and then come back in 5 minutes.
A deadly Florida crash allegedly caused by an illegal migrant
Look how
truck
nonchalant he
driver.
is.
And officials say the suspect couldn't read English or understand road signs despite getting a commercial driver's license from 2 sanctuary states.
Lucas Thomason.
Sanctuary states. Those are the people that protect these guys from ICE. All right, so that one, and I got an update on that as well. All right, so let's get to the update. So let me delete this off. Okay. Let me go to the update. I want to. Where is the latest? Right here. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Right here. This is the latest, I believe.
An illegal immigrant involved in a crash that killed 3 people is in a Florida jail. Will stay there after a judge denied his bond just hours ago. The case prompted the White House to act after the suspect obtained his license despite failing English and road sign tests. Madison Scarpino is live with this story. Hi, Madison.
Hi, Rich. 28-year-old Harjinder Singh had his first court appearance this morning after that deadly Florida crash. He's facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide, 3 counts of manslaughter, and he has not yet entered a plea of guilty or not guilty. Today's hearing was quick. There was a translator for Singh interpreting everything the judge was saying, and this is why the judge says Singh cannot have bond.
The defendant is an unauthorized alien, a substantial flight risk, and
Of course, he's a flight risk. Okay, so then last one, I'll let aspiring heights give her opinion or assessment on what we just. Oh, let's go here first.
Today, we are putting people who break the law on notice. If you come through these interstations and you're an illegal or breaking the law, you will be handed over to our local or federal partners.
We have got to protect our American citizens from the dangers of the open border crisis and illegal aliens that may be engaging in behavior that injures people.
Well, Florida is moving full speed ahead with plans to make sure that legal truck drivers are the ones behind the wheel on state highways. This after an illegal immigrant with a California license allegedly killed 3 people in Florida while making a dangerous and illegal U-turn. Dana Marie McNichol is joining us live in Martin County, Florida with the latest on this. Hi, Dana Marie.
Dude can't read a lick of English, man. And got 2 companies. He worked for 2 truck companies. FBA can't get 1 job. My man got 2 jobs. Okay, now here's the latest. This is the last one.
I'm Christina Awayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories.
A migrant truck driver from Africa killed 3 people in Nevada after going the wrong way on the highway. 29-year-old Claude Rafiki veered into oncoming traffic, killing motorcyclist near Las Vegas. The Rwandan-born truck driver does not speak English, but was given a commercial driver's license in Michigan. The crash happened in...
This guy in Michigan, this guy can't speak a lick of English. Look, this is the person he ran down.
March of 2024, when Rafiki drove his semi-truck on the wrong side of the highway for nearly 30 seconds after weaving erratically for about 10 minutes, as seen on his dash cam. Prosecutors described the truck as a quote-unquote nuclear bomb on the road, noting Rafiki had lied on his book, saying he was switching shifts with another driver, violating hours of service rules that are put in place to make sure drivers don't fall asleep at the wheel. Rafiki killed Owen Hart, 22, Athena Taylor, 21, recently engaged and celebrating Hart's birthday.
All right, Aspire, you still there? What do you think about that? This ongoing thing.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think of that national scheme where they're trying to get illegals driver license and even commercial license? Like, what is the rush to get illegals on the road that can't read a lick of English, can't read road signs?
I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. Excuse me?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I didn't say anything.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably listening to the playback, YouTube video. You got to mute that one. Yeah, it looks like you're having technical difficulty. All right, so now let me play this then. While you get that together.
Man, fuck South Africans. They're not in the field picking up cotton for the master.
Okay, you see that little tether? She was trying to do blackface and joke like, yo, these tethers are dangerous, man.
Like Flintstones, y'all don't even have a car. Y'all still rolling with y'all feet.
Doesn't South Africa export a shit ton of food and wine to America? In essence, we feed you bitches.
Why are you out here saying all these crazy things about black people in America?
Dear African American brothers and sisters, whatever you do not get into any kind of social media wars with Nigerians, South Africans, and Kenyans.
I mean, I didn't know what this is. This just seemed like it's interesting.
And even the other part where she talked about the map in her hair, because historically, everybody knows that the ancestors of the current Black American people today
I don't know what this is.
You will be here doing your fuckery, and God will give you 10, if not 20, if not 50, if not 100 years to keep doing your fuckery until one day he cracks, bruv. Be the exact same way. Be exactly like that and give them their time. Don't get angry, don't say nothing. Keep watching them as they say and do their fuckery. Because right now, America is on their high horse. They think that they're untouchable. And they don't understand that, you see, war is inevitable. You see how America is behaving to the
Oh
point
shit, here we go. This old Babylon must fall. Babylon must fall. Oh shit. All
where...
right. Yeah, here they go with this. Like I'm saying, yo, these folks, for whatever reason, I don't understand their reason, and maybe they can explain their reason, but they look at America as like the devil, and we're here, right? And we're Americans, so by default, we're the devil too, and we better not be proud to be American because we're the devil along with the devil. This is their religion, and then in that case, we're open to these hateful comments. So like they hate America and they hate the fact that we embrace our homeland. We're American. So that's their thing. They hate America for whatever reason. And if we embrace that we are American, then they hate that extended hate is directed towards us. So they're going to get diaspora war. So you hear America's on that high horse. They're going to get it. God's going to crash down. God's going to send fire and brimstone on America, and then America's going to evaporate, and then Africa will be Wakanda overnight. Like this is what they believe.
China, Japan, and South Korea have now band together. Even the British government is over here trying to control steel manufacturing because they're learning from World War II when there was a shortage of motherfucking steel. Russia will invade, and war will start. And when war starts, they will need somewhere to go.
Oh,
and
shit.
when that day comes, all you niggas have to do is remember every single time you asked them to respect you and they never did. They called you African booty scratchers. They were putting water in envelopes and cardboard boxes trying to post it to Africa. They came on here and disrespected your food and disrespected your culture and disrespected you.
Okay, so let me guess. You're going to close the border when okay.
You asked them to stop labeling you as the Africans, and they said fuck you, and they keep doing it anyways. They went to Ghana and was twerking on Elmina Castle. Don't argue with them, nor do you try to educate them. You cannot educate the uneducatable. All you have to fucking do is remember all these things I told you on the day when they're going to need some form of refuge. And
hey, yo, this tether said we are the uneducatable. He said you can't even educate us. God damn. That's some strong words right there. We can't even learn.
Remember it. Politely.
And by the way, it's all of us. See, we don't do that to them. We don't say it's all of you. We say a tether class, but they, like white supremacy, say it's all of us. We're all ninjas, not just the bad ones or the troublemakers. They call us all ninjas. And this tether right here, like most tethers, they say all of us. They don't discriminate. They don't delineate. They say all of us behave this way.
Close your motherfucking borders. Good night.
That one, I'm just speechless. When I heard that, I was like, okay, so what if the world is unstable now? What if we're at the brink of another world war or whatever? Shit. And if our diaspora people run to us in Africa for help, we are supposed to turn them down or refuse to offer them help because of the Zulu parade. How does it make any sense? Where is our brotherhood? Where is
yes, I'm still here.
Where is our forgiveness? Okay. Where is our humanity? Where is our love for each other in the diaspora? How low can we sink? And then on the other hand, some people are even talking about voodoo.
If one of y'all from South Africa had even did a little research, you would have understood that New Orleans is ground zero for voodoo. And
that is really, I'm just still boggled by that.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh yeah. I'm still boggled by that. I
don't know if you're still talking.
It's when I speak, it's a slow response when it's a slow response when I speak.
No, because you're playing the video in the background. So you're playing the YouTube video in the background. So you're getting a delay. You're getting a echo.
Oh. Let me get it. So I need to get out of YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta pause your YouTube screen. Just pause it.
Okay.
Metaphysical occult religions.
Yeah, so you can still chat.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
you can still chat there. You just gotta pause it. You can still chat in the chat. You just gotta pause the video.
Okay, I
and
get it.
techniques and understanding. So you came all the way across the water to pick.
Okay, I paused it.
A fight with a bunch of.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm still trying to figure out why they're doing that. You know, they always have their little secrets that they do. I'm pretty sure it's some big web they done, they done spawned, and they always have their little secret plans. So I'm pretty sure it's some kind of plan behind why they doing it. I don't see any significance in it because they see the guy already killed somebody trying to he jackknife trying to do a U-turn and the van ran right into the truck. So I mean, I have no idea why they would want to give people give them driver's license and no proper training. Just I don't. It just seemed to me like it's just it's a form of just destroying America. It's like they want all these different accidents and stuff to happen, more death. It's like they trying to quicken getting rid of America. That's what it's saying like to me.
All right. Interesting.
Like a bunch of voodoo children, a bunch of spiritualists that are into actually Yoruba African principles, like Ifa and Haitian, because we're a mixture of cultures here. So you came and picked a fight with a bunch of voodoo kids. Ooh, yeah. And
they be having nothing to say, man. They just be talking.
Water is getting pick on us. The whole
conclusion without dragging each other and generally respond to while
y'all not gonna put us all in the same fucking boat, okay? Them New Orleans niggas is different. They their own people, okay? All right, so we're not gonna put all black Americans in this shit, okay? I've never been in New Orleans. I've never been to Bourbon Street. I've never been down there, so I didn't even know what the fuck was going on until I actually went and looked. I do know about the Zulu Nation, everything that takes place over there, because I've been trying to appropriate myself with the culture. To see the New Orleans shit, bruh, y'all got to be fucking kidding me. That shit look like a clown show. That shit look like a mockery. That shit like some shit they made y'all do when y'all was in slavery to put on a fucking show for them. That shit ain't appropriate, and I side with the South Africans on this one.
South Africans, or should I say specifically?
Right. Let me get out of that, because that ain't nothing. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So here we are here.
And that's one of the reasons why Texas joined the United States of America in 1845, because independent Texas could not withstand the pressure generated by Haiti and its global allies. And what oftentimes happens.
So I really believe this. I really believe there's heavy cap on the Haitian Revolution and its impact globally. Like Pan-Africanists be making that shit more than what it is, man. Like the Haitian Revolution just it shook the world. It put the world on notice. Like I just don't. I'm not buying that, especially the fact that we know that Haiti didn't amount to anything afterwards. Now, Haiti was like this great, second world country, and they're close. They're I'm not buying that. I'm just like, Haiti became a nothing burger. So I don't believe that the world was on notice because of the Haitian Revolution. I'm just not buying that. But this is an African, Pan-Africanist revision on history.
Happens
romanticizing
if
history.
You are not able to withstand pressure, you'll join hands with like-minded enterprises. So the enslavers of Texas joined hands with the enslavers of the United States of America. And so the Haitian Revolution is something that is what our children should be taught about.
Nah.
And we also should recognize that we owe an eternal debt of gratitude.
Oh my God.
The brothers and sisters in Haiti, because
they're
still paying the price.
They're still paying the price. So somehow the Haitian Revolution freed us. Like, we didn't go to war and free ourselves. the Haitian Revolution freed us. Like again, like this romanticizing of Haiti and Africa while they disrespect America, Black America, is ridiculous. And it's getting I'm getting like Haitian and African fatigue. Like really, this is getting just crazy. So we gotta thank the Haitians who never fought with us, physically fought with us, never marched with it. We gotta thank what they did in their country and it flopped and failed. We gotta thank them for fighting for our own citizenship, independence, freedom. Miss me, man. That's cap. Miss me with that. Don't make any sense.
Tangerine tyrant, Mr. Trump, is about to remove temporary protective status
Right.
From many Haitians in the United States of America, numbering in the thousands, about to send them back to Haiti. And of course,
100,000 to be exact.
Since independence in the early 19th century, Haiti has been under unremitting pressure and attack from its former colonial master in France, from the United States of America.
Shit.
It was forced to pay reparations to the enslavers.
They didn't have to.
Interestingly
Didn't win?
enough, in a footnote, let me mention, once again, in the book I just dropped a few days ago, The Capital of Slavery, Washington, D.C.,
Yeah, they always talk about a goddamn book, man. Like that's all these folks do. They call that like legwork. They call that boots in the ground. All these Pan-Africanists do is just write books to each other. It's like, hey man, did you get the 8th edition of the Haitian Revolution? I wrote that yesterday. Really? Well, I wrote the 20th version. I wrote the 20th edition of the Haitian Revolution. That's all they do. They write books about Haiti and Africa and just pass them, just sell them to each other all day long. Like nothing else. It's all this Pan-Africanist stuff, man. All of them authors. They're all authors. They all wrote a book and they all got books. Nobody know about the books but themselves. And then like what other way can you explain the Haitian Revolution? We don't need a 20th edition on it, man.
1865, I point out that due to the unique status of Washington, D.C., it abolished slavery before the United States did. And also, the enslavers in Washington were paid reparations once slavery was abolished. Now, of course,
I heard that.
Not to the enslaved themselves nor their descendants. So, in other words, the president has been set with regard to reparations. The only question is who will receive reparations.
Give last.
The Republicans now are arguing that the descendants of the enslavers, they should receive reparations. However, you and your audience should know that the Caribbean community, led by Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, etc., were recently in Europe campaigning and lobbying in London and in Brussels, the capital of the European Union, on behalf of the reparations agenda. And of course, they're taking that reparations agenda to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in September 2025.
Oh boy.
Wow.
There'll be the first face-to-face meeting between leaders of the African Union, the Pan-African transcontinental body of 46 plus independent sovereign African states, and the Caribbean community. Reparations will be on the agenda for that important summit.
Yeah, miss me with that bullshit. So what he's talking about at Sparrow Heights, he's talking about the African Union attempt to hijack reparations, to add us as the, like with where we are, the 55th country, some bullshit they added us to without our permission, and they want to add us to this global reparations fight. Listen, good luck with that. All right, good luck with your global reparations fight. We're not. That's all you. That's all y'all.
On that part, they have actually already received our reparations 2 years ago.
Okay, explain.
Yeah, they are. If you go to wh.gov, I'll send you the link. You can actually go to the page, and it actually talks about how well they did when they received $65 billion.
Oh yeah, you talking about from Biden? Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
They already got our reparations.
They came to America at this conference with President Biden, and he gave them like $60-something billion. Yeah,
and
they all cooned that right.
They had to use our buying power to get it. They used our history, because if you look up the African Union, they made us the sixth region. They used our $1.7 trillion buying power because we were the only they had to in order to get a seat in the UN, and I think to
Wait,
get
wait,
a seat in.
but then they won't call us special. Like, okay, so they say we're in a high horse. They say we think we're better than. They say all these things about us to like bring us down to, the ground. Like they want to floor us. But then when they talk about us, how they need us and exploit us, they in fact believe we are above the ground level. You dig? Like
That,
they gotta
but
make their mind up. They believe we are special.
but that's why
Go
they
ahead.
try. No, they actually trying to re-enslave us. Because if I thought about the whole thing, I say, in order for you to make us a situation, they didn't even ask us. We wasn't good enough to be asked. No, none of us are even
Right. They
sitting
just
in there.
add us there.
I'm like, in order for you to sit down and do that, that means you trying to re-enslave us. They do see us up high. They trying to bring us down low under them. That's what other reason would you go behind our backs, make us a situation, take our reparations, got all their descendants online cosplaying us? How you gonna say you a whole nother race of people? That's unless and so I thought about saying the only way you could do all this is unless you trying to put us under you and re-enslave us, recolonize us. So that's my conclusion that I got of, but they already got our money. I can send you the link. I can send you the page where it shows how well they said it did so well. They're talking about it on a page in wh.gov. I'll send you the link on it. Am I still on there?
That's me. My fault. My fault.
Oh, okay.
I muted myself again with this microphone. This microphone is easy. So yeah, yeah. So what you could do is put the link in the chat so that the
Oh,
chat click the link and read up on it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, because I got both the pages from when they planned the whole thing on one page,
Yeah.
and then they talked about it on another page how
Okay.
well they did with the money. So I'm still shocked. I'm like, wow, y'all got our money, and you got your descendants online harassing us, and it's like it's weird. I'm like, y'all already, and they're still trying to, and then they got other people trying to, everybody's in on it now, trying to just, and they don't even care. They're doing their face. They don't even care that they're all saying they're African American or Black American, of course, so they can get the scholarships and grants
Yeah.
and loans. But we
Cosplay.
can't go get any of their stuff, but they can double dip and get our stuff,
Yeah.
go to
That's the problem.
HBCUs saying they're African American and Black Americans, but anything they create over here, we can't go in any of their stuff. Well,
Nah,
everybody in the
nothing.
whole world can come over here and get our stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody. It's everybody's invited to our party, but their parties are private.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's been like that forever.
All right. Let me play a little bit more.
And interestingly enough, although there are efforts by some Black Americans to attend, it's not clear as of July 2025 if there will be a delegation of Black Americans who will be attending this important summit
It's not
in
clear.
Ethiopia.
This crazy guy.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Horn, for that information. I know I had no idea. If my family, you could tell me in the chat if you knew that this was actually going on. Let me ask you this. So you're saying, and I just want to make sure I'm clear, that slavery, you're saying that it ended, like Britain and all these European powers started moving in that direction of.
Yeah, so you got to watch him. I'm not saying he's wrong about his recount of the slavery thing with Britain, but I'm listening close because I got to know what I know, and I'll let you know if he's exaggerating or leaving out or adding too much in. But some of the stuff he said was kind of accurate. So let's see.
Ending slavery because of the Haitian Revolution. So, because of that revolution, they were saying, hold on, wait a minute, we cannot continue this. We got to move towards abolishing this because of what was happening down in Haiti and like you said, the partnerships or the allies that Haiti was making. So they said, we got to stop this. Do you also think, though, Dr. Horn, it was because there were rebellions everywhere? There were rebellions, throughout the Caribbean. It was rebellions on the coast of Africa. You got rebellions in South America. You got rebellions right here in United States. So do you think that it was mainly Haiti, or do you think it may have been a collective effort, that it was too much resistance happening? What do you think about that, Dr. Horn?
Well, certainly it's the latter. For example, in the aforementioned book, The Capital of Slavery, I point out what happens in Washington, D.C. in August 1814, when the British invade and help to burn down Washington, burn down the White House, sending President Madison and his
See, all this Haiti stuff, I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about all that. Like they're trying to find a way to sneak Haiti in a reparations claim. Like, come on. All right, come on. That's what it sounds like to me.
Dolly fleeing into the streets, one step ahead of the posse. Enslaved
Florida
Africans
trucker.
in Maryland and Virginia and the district join in. Many of them jump on British boats and sail to freedom in Trinidad and Tobago, where their descendants continue to reside. In fact, when I was giving a talk in New York a few years ago, descendants of some of those Africans who had fled from the United States and wound up in Trinidad and Tobago were now residing back in Brooklyn, and they came to my address. So certainly there was mass resistance, particularly in the United States of America.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar with the Nat Turner Revolt.
Yeah.
August 1831. So there were revolts of the enslaved in Cuba.
Oh my God.
That there was mass resistance, but that should not
down. Or could you speak about the Declaration of Independence and what that document is about?
Well, you are
all right. So before they go ahead and start revising history, let me just share something with you as far as that. So I'm gonna start from Britain, right? How it established colonies in America, for what reason, and how it went left, right? How did the British end up? We learned from they had an issue being taxed, and that led to taxation by representation. It led to the Revolutionary War. All right, so I'm gonna bring that all the way down to America, because when we say Sparrow Heights, when we say
Yes.
we were here before the United States was established, are you or do you understand that statement when that's made? Like, we were here before the United States were established.
Yes, I understand what they're
Okay.
saying.
Yeah, because some people was asking that, not really us, like white supremacists and tethers, like they're kind of confused on that right there. All right, so I'm just gonna put it down for the record and explain what that statement means for anybody in the chat that may be in the dark. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Screen froze. Screening froze. No. Don't do that. Okay, so this is just to clear the record. All right. So here we are. Where are we? Where are my bullet points? Okay, here are my bullet points. All right. Here we are. So as many of us know, Britain had set up colonies in America. It was motivation for colonization, right? Economic gain. Britain sought new sources of wealth, i.e. gold, silver, furs, timber, tobacco. Mercantilism. Under the economic theory, colonies existed to enrich the mother country, Britain wanted raw materials from America and a market to sell its goods. So keep in mind, family, listen to what a colony is. A colony are basically tentacles that send out abroad to extract to bring back to the mother country. So when you say your country was were colonized, they're just simply saying they're simply saying that colonies were set up to extract and exploit minerals and labor for that reason to bring back to the mother country. All right. So that's how this country started off, but that's not how it ended. All right. So a rivalry with Spain and France. All right. England wanted to compete with Catholic powers like Spain and France for global influence. All right. Now we got religious reasons. Some groups like the Pilgrims and Puritans wanted to escape religious persecution in England. That's their story. And they're sticking with that. Okay. Okay. So Virginia 1607 was the first successful colony of Jamestown. We hear that a lot. That was funded by the Virginia Company. Plymouth Colony, we hear about Plymouth Rock, 1620, was founded by the Pilgrims for religious freedom. Okay, then we got 13 colonies formed. So over time, British established colonies along the East Coast, including Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, and Georgia. Okay, so charters and proprietary grants. Some colonies were granted by royal charter to private companies or individuals like William Penn, Pennsylvania. Okay. So, how did the British rule operate in the colonies? So, through royal governors who represented the king and enforced British law, colonial legislators elected by colonists, but often limited in power. Trade restrictions. Colonists were required to trade only with Britain under laws like the Navigation Acts. Okay, then you got taxes. Here's the thing. Taxes, at first, taxes were minimal, but this would change after the French and Indian War. This is the straw that broke the camel back. So, the French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763. Britain defeated France and gained control of more territory. However, the war left Britain deep in debt and they turned to taxing the colonies to help pay it off. All right, so this led to the Sugar Act 1764, Stamp Act of 1765, and Townshend Acts 1767. All imposed tax.
Correct to suggest that our community was not intended when the Declaration of Independence was rendered in July 1776. And as a matter of fact, part of the propaganda that has been used to instruct us is that supposedly the Constitution and the Declaration were sufficiently flexible to include us down the road. And one of the lessons of my work, and it's in part reflected in the work that we're discussing now, is that to the extent our community has been able to make progress, it's often been due to external forces and external circumstances. For example, the Haitian Revolution taking place in the Caribbean, that's external, for example. Or post-World War II, post-1945, when African and Caribbean nations are surging to independence, and the United States wants to curry favor with these nations, but is finding it difficult given the fact that you have a form of U.S. apartheid, Jim Crow, legalized racism, lynching, etc. And so that external factor of African and Caribbean independence helps to convince those in Washington that the better part of wisdom is to move away from U.S. apartheid. And I think that that leads inevitably to these conclusions. One, the viability of Pan-Africanism, a concept you introduced at the top. And secondly, the viability of continuing to pay close and careful attention to external events. I mentioned, for example, this summit that's going to take place in Ethiopia in September 2025, for example. Because I don't think we should see these events in the United States as somehow accidental, for example.
No, not at all.
For example, these police killings, these police shootings, you should not see that as accidental or inconsistent with the dominant creed of the United States of America. You should see it as wholly consistent and wholly congruent with the dominant creed.
I think he's trying to touch on that.
And the lesson you should draw
what I
is
was reading.
that the way we've been able to overcome these hurdles and barriers.
And that is what's being pushed. And this is what I land my plane here, Dr. Horn. I've always said, and I'm thinking about Dr. Francis Cress Wilson right now, and Dr. Nellie
Okay, so
Fuller.
that part we already heard. So anyway, the taxes, right? So I said Townshend Acts 1767, all imposed taxes on goods and services. Then you got the Quartering Act, required colonists to house British soldiers. Now that's something that was big over here in our Constitution. They said, nah, it ain't happening over here, right? They required, imagine that. Imagine you chilling home, feet kicked up, watching TV or doing what you do in your home, and British soldiers knocking on the door like, yo, we're tired. Where's your bed, right? And you were required to house them. That's wild. So colonists had no representation in Parliament, hence the protest, no taxation without representation. So they had boycotts and protests. They spread. So I don't know why tethers act like boycotting is like un-American. All right. So it's Sons of Liberty and leaders like Samuel Adams, John Adams, and Patrick Henry began organizing resistance. The Boston Massacre, 1770, and Boston Tea Party, 1773, escalated tensions. Okay. Then Britain responded with the Coercive Acts, aka Intolerable Acts, further restricting colonial self-rule. Right. So First Continental Congress, 1774. Hold on. Let me share my image. So we have something to look at while I read. So colonies united to push back against British control eventually led to armed conflict in 1775, Lexington and Concord, Declaration of Independence, 1776, written by Thomas Jefferson. It declared that the colonies were now independent. All right. States, they were independent states free from British rule. This marked the formal start of the American Revolutionary War. Okay, so Britain colonized America for wealth, power, and religious expansion, but their tightening control and exploitative policies led to growing resentment. The lack of representation and harsh taxation ultimately sparked a rebellion for independence, birthing the United States. All right, that's a brief rough draft. Okay, so now, what that got to do with Foundation Black Americans as being enslaved, right? So Britain, as the ruling colonial power, was directly responsible for enslaving us in what would later become the United States. So it was Britain first who popped off slavery in America, right? Enslavement in America. All right. And then once this country was declared independent, United States decided to take over, inherit, us, and do it their own way, independent of Britain rule, Britain control. Okay, so Americans as an independent country did not exist just yet during the initial phases of slavery. So British colonists, subjects of the British crown, enslaved us on behalf of the British Empire. So that's how it popped off, family. It was the British, and then the colonies declared independence, fought for independence, and they said, thank you for these FBAs, and we'll take it from here. Okay, so from the early 1600s to 1776, what is now the U.S. was made up of British colonies. Slavery began in British North America in 1619 when enslaved Africans were brought to Jamestown, Virginia. These enslaved were owned by British colonies, and their legal framework was based on British law and colonial charters. This would mean by there's no America at this point. I mean, there's no United States of America at this point. So that's what we mean. We were here before the framework, the making of the United States of America. There's no United States of America, family. It's just British rule. There's colonies. And we were here enslaved by those British colonies, ran and governed by Britain. Okay, so we were owned by British colonists, and our legal framework was based on British law and colonial charters. So when we say enslaved by Americans, that's before 1776. We're really talking about British subjects living in America, not really Americans, and therefore Britain was ultimately responsible. So Britain had that checkbook ready. So now, what happened after 1776? The U.S. declares independence, 1776. After Declaration of Independence, the new United States continued the system of slavery inherited from Britain. They said, thank you for these brilliant minds that we have over here. So post 1776, yes, Americans for the first time and not British were now responsible for continuing and expanding slavery. So some states began banning the slave trade, but southern states entrenched in it to deeper, their economy was solely based on it. And then, obviously, when slavery was banned globally, internationally, the slave breeding started, the selective breeding. So Britain banned the transatlantic slave trade in 1807, right? Because obviously America got their independence in 1776, and they were highly reliant on, the transatlantic slave trade. So Britain was like, all right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna ban that. All right. So full slavery cost the empire. Full slavery cost an empire in 1833. The U.S. also banned the importation of slaves in 1808, but not slavery itself. So just extracting, just importing people for slave labor was banned by 1808, but not the practice, not the slavery itself, because they could no longer import more bodies. American slaveholders began systematically breeding enslaved people, especially in places like Virginia and South Carolina, to increase the enslaved population for labor and profit. Now, this slave breeding was very selective. You know how we talk about highly selected immigrants coming to the country and doing well, but they don't represent the masses. Well, when we had highly selective breeding, they were literally breeding the strong with the strong, the smart with the smart, creating this superhuman, this super elite foundation Black American, right? And that's what a lot of us became. I think that's pretty deep. They were breeding the strong with the strong, the smart with the smart, the fast with the fast, the fertile with the fertile. They creating this super genetic human being. That didn't happen nowhere else in the world. So that's why some of us believe we're able to exceed and fight at 13% and do all these miraculous things. It's because of slave breeding, selective breeding created the superhuman, basically, lack of better words. But anyway, this was most aggressive between 1808 and 1865, this selective breeding, but particularly in the upper South, right? Now, what about the Caribbean and Haiti? What was going on over there? Okay, so slavery was widespread on plantation and sugar colonies like Jamaica and Barbados. British abolished slavery in the Caribbean in 1833, with full emancipation phased by 1838. These enslaved people did not work on plantations, right? Just like in the U.S. South, no. So yes, plantation slavery was absolutely present in the Caribbean, okay? Plantations absolutely define Caribbean slavery, especially in British and French colonies. What about Haiti? Haiti, then, Saint Domingue, was a French colony with horrific slavery on sugar plantations. In 1791, enslaved Africans rose up in revolution, led by Toussaint Louverture and others. Now we got the Haitian rebellion, basically. So slavery was abolished by force, not by law. Haitians were enslaved on plantations as well, but Haiti endured slavery decades before most other nations through revolution. Okay, so there was no America as we know before 1776. So the British had their colonial system. That's what sparked off slavery here in America. And after independence, Americans continue because now they're Americans, right? The 13 colonies, they're now Americans, and they continue and expanded slavery, especially through breeding enslaved people after the transatlantic slave trade ended. Caribbean slavery was plantation based, brutal, and similar to U.S. slavery. And yes, it absolutely qualified as slavery, not just labor exploitation. Slavery existed in many forms, but plantation slavery is one of the clearest and harshest systems across the Americas. There you go. So that's what we mean by we were here before the United States. We literally was here before the colonies got together and fought against British rule for independence and emancipation from British rule. There you go. So when you hear folks say we were here before the United States, that's what we mean. We literally was. All right. All right. So I'll go here. Let's see what this is about. What is this about? Let's take a look at this. I never watched this. So we'll watch it together. Wait, what
And
time is
got
it? Wait, wait,
people
wait, wait. Let me see what time it is before I play this, because this is a good 40 minutes. Hold on. Hold on. I might save this for tomorrow. Because 40 minutes. It'll be like 11 o'clock by the time I get off this. The Holy Codex, the Holy FBA Codex TV1 piece. Christ is a black man, no regard for the internal fortitude of our ancestors had. Okay. Now you might want to no regard for the internal fortitude our ancestors had. Jam says we are a combination of both, just like Madagascar is a combination of Africans and Asians. And we got Remy in the building. She said, and they enslaved themselves after freeing themselves from their master. That's a fact. She's talking about, or Remy talking about the Haitians. Yep, Toussaint enslaved the Haitians right after they freed themselves. That was when I read that part. When I seen that, I was like, why nobody talk about this? Okay, so let me see. Jam, did you want to hop on and contribute to anything? And Christ is a black man. Did you want to hop on and say anything? If not, I'm gonna let Aspiring Heights close out with anything she has on her heart, and then we're gonna be back at I'm gonna save this video. This is 40 minutes. It's 10 o'clock. We'll be done. I didn't fall asleep on y'all. So Aspiring Heights, did you want to close out with anything?
Yes,
Last
yes,
assessment.
but I like how you're going through history, and that is actually what we need because the way everybody is trying to hijack um FBA. Some guy said a professor made a video saying some young guy in his class, I think the guy was Asiatic or Hispanic. He said he walked in talking about he's FBA. So it's like basically they're not gonna stop. That's why what you're doing, we do need to study our history because we're being hijacked and we
Yeah.
have to save we have to protect our children. We need to teach our children their history, and because these people, they're not going to stop.
Nah.
They don't have they are all currently hijacking us as a people, and they don't care what we think. They know what they're doing, and they're all and I have children, and I see how they going after our children because they know we know, but they know our
Right.
children don't
Of
fully
course.
know what they're doing. So they're going after our children. So we got to I don't care if we got to homeschool them. We have to protect our children and tell them the truth about what the world is doing. And by what you're doing, teaching history, this is the perfect way to do it. Is to teach history, and the way your channel is set up is just perfect for how to combat what they're doing to our people currently.
Yeah, I agree. I think the best way to combat is to be prepared in advance, and that's knowing what was, what is now, and what's going to be in the future. That's the best
Yes,
way to prepare.
studying, teaching our history. We have to get knowledgeable on our history, definitely. And the
Have
current,
you?
be able to move it back and forth, like you all the way back to the 1800s to 1700s, then you bring it back to the past, and you showing how the past is related to what's going on now. Yes, these are the type of channels that need to be we need to be having discussions on history, because that's one lady said, one African lady made a video. She said, "Oh, you say you indigenous?" And then she said, "Well, show me your paperwork." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that don't that sound, ain't that what the colonizers used to do? They used to have
Yeah,
to
you
tell
see how?
us."
Yeah, exactly. You see how entitled it is. That's exactly. Well, we didn't have a colonizer at that point. We had a slave plantation guy. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Our former slave masters, right? That's how they would talk.
Yeah,
Um,
we had to walk around with our paperwork showing if we
yep.
was a free slave,
And
indentured
and look at
service.
yeah, facts, and look at the entitlement that person says. Show them it, like as though they have the authority or power
Yeah,
to give you a pass, like okay, and stamp an approval on you. Okay, this person's certified.
and like we can't come back and say, "Okay, well, show me your paperwork that you supposed to be here in the United States.
Right,
Show me
that you're
all."
actually
Like we
legal
can't
and
come
your
back
visa
and
didn't
say that.
expire. You're right. Show us your visa paperwork. Make sure it's not
Yeah,
expired. Make sure your green card stay isn't, overstay your green card, stay right. Yeah, and they will feel disrespected if we dare say that. Yep.
too bad. If they can say it to us, we can say it right back to them. Show me your paperwork.
Black law dictionary. Right, exactly. Okay, so I'm a close out. Thank you for calling in, adding to the content. You dig? It's good to have another voice, another opinion, another way to look at things. You dig? Ain't just me talking all day.
And
And
and thank
also,
you for allowing me to come up here. I appreciate it.
of course, and also like the person who calls in is normally an op, a hater. So it's refreshing that people call in. They of the lineage, so we get some positivity before we lay down. You know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Aspiring Height. We're gonna tune back in. So yeah, if I go 8 o'clock, 7:30, I'm gonna try to get off by 9:30 the latest. Right, no more, because I get really sleepy and
Oh
then I'll
yeah.
be out. So yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So if I go live, I can't say every night, but when I
Hmm.
do go live at 7:38, I'm gonna try to give it like an hour and a half. But mornings when I'm gonna go all in. All right. So
Okay.
thank you and peace to the family. I'm
Peace to the
sure
family.
I'm sure all of you guys have already liked the video. So tomorrow morning I'll see you. Peace.
Okay.
Good night.